Okay, guys, happy Friday. Here we go. Oh, so I'm probably glad to see a Friday. Well, you know, traders, right? Sometimes we Jones for the action. But crypto, of course, never sleeps, so there'll likely be plenty of trading over the weekend. Okay, let's start with Bitcoin. Now, before I do that here, just bear with me here. I don't do this, often, but we got a little promo going with our sponsor, right? Blowfin. This exchange is our sponsor. We're very happy with them. Think you will be too. This is a little teaser, kind of something to encourage you to give them a try. They're going to cover $100 of a stop, your $100 stop loss, 100 of a stop loss, if you're trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana in their futures markets. That's running through the 27th of April. It's a nice little, a little come over. Right? I mean, you can. One of the huge advantages of Blowfin is no KYC, right? So you're open in less than 5 minutes. Throw a little crypto in there, boom, you're running. Get into the futures market, maybe you catch something over the weekend or next week or whenever. The point is to get in there and give the exchange a try. I think you'll find that it's very, very competitive. Certainly is competitive, comparable to anything out there, right? But again, no KYC is the big plus. Okay, so this link and all of our links are directly in the description under this video. They're always there, right? So there's plenty of ways to get to them and get to our content, whether it's our website or some of the promotions or some of the tools that we recommend. So with that, let's get over to Bitcoin. So bear with me. Well, let's start with Bitcoin. Let's look here. This is a daily on Coinbase. There's more history, and of course I'm out of log scale here because this is. Right. The question you got to ask yourself here is, okay, are we still in a bull market? Yeah, I had a few. I love my commentators. I had a few people comment last week when I started talking about this possibility here, like, hey, Sam, couldn't you have called this in January that the top was in? Well, yes, right. We don't know that the top's in. Let me get rid of that. We don't know, right? So if it's really tempting to look at this. If I pull it from the proposed low here, if I pull it right here, 1, 2, it's tempting, right? It's very tempting to look at that. Now, if just out here, right, on a daily, looking at the broad strokes of the market, it's really hard. Oh, you're not going to see that. Let me. Oh, what do I want? Try this one. It's hard not to see this, right? Potentially a 5 coming down. I draw it. On the assumption that that's the 5, right? Come here. That we've topped, right? And are we still in a bull market? Well, the market structure, right? Of course, higher high, higher low, higher. Yes, but certainly we're in the correction of it. I see personally, if you look here, that low being 74 and 50% being 62, right? So a 12K difference. It's more bullish if it's a 2, right? If we complete and we come down into this zone, right? Again, market's not obligated to do anything, right? It's going to do what it's going to do. But were it to come down here, right, I think that's the buy of the next 50 years, right? If right now, see, it's so tempting, right? And it's I'm as vulnerable to this as any. It's so tempting to think, wait, no, we've got a crypto-friendly administration. All the regulation is being clarified here, and it's crypto, right? We've got a Bitcoin reserve. We've got the XRP is being resolved. We've got, all of the regulatory issues. We've got bills in Congress that are coming through that are crypto-friendly. Why are we not rolling? And we could look at gold, right? In the panic, right, of tariff. The tariff, what do I want to call it? I'll just say this administration's approach to using tariffs, right? I'm going to try and keep. I get people get very upset when my politics show, so I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum. Okay, right. So once we start the tariff crazy, why is Bitcoin down? Well, most logical reason is people are selling, right, what they can sell, right? Bitcoin is still a risk asset. Gold is still a safe haven. Bitcoin is not acting like a safe haven, although comparative to some other assets, certainly the S&P. Well, there's the closing bell. Oh, I am late with this. Sorry, it's just terrible allergies today. relative to the S&P, right, in terms of percentage drawdown, I mean, this is not terrible, but it sure does look like we're just getting started. Like that's the A. Oh, we'll get to that later. A, B. Couldn't you just see the B, C? Big correction. There we go. Now, I'm not saying that's what's coming. I'm just saying we have to be prepared for that. Can't take it off the table, right? If anything, it's the most obvious path forward. I know, right? Nobody likes to hear that, but swing low, swing high, clearly an impulse. Where do they usually go? Right? I know. So tempting to say, well, it'll be different this time. Again, I propose to you, right? If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is all going to be a big extension in the fifth, it's more bullish to have it come lower and have it start the third. But we shall see how that plays. I think I'd like to see here, I've got this highlighted on the daily. I'd like to see it sweep this, right, to get a true break of this downswing here, break this, and then maybe a retrace. But you'd have to be thinking in your mind's eye, and this is a really, when we go down to a lower time frame, this count is, it's true. It's for the puzzle solver, you know, the people that love that puzzle. It's very tricky to count every swing of this. Very, very, you know, this is where people that have issues with Elliott Wave, right, well, they make a pretty strong case because this 10 out of 10 Elliotticians are going to give you a different count. That's what happens in these complex corrections, right? It's very difficult to be clear until it finishes. Okay, so with that said, you'd have to be mindful that if we get a rally here, don't assume it's 3, 4. Don't assume that. If anything, it would have to prove it to me that it's not this. Right? It's gonna have to prove it to me that we're not doing that. Again, I don't think that's necessarily bad news. Potentially, right? That's more bullish. All right. So with that said, okay, let me get off of Bitcoin. So hang on a second. Oh, I guess before I should go here, we'll take one last look before I get off of Bitcoin here. This last look here where you see here where I'm pulling from the proposed last swing low, right? Even though it's not the lowest low for the 4, right? And the idea that this was a triangle and we went 1, 2. This completes the 5 here. So from 1, bang, right to golden zone. That should surprise exactly 0 people. We know Bitcoin loves the golden zone, right? It's very responsive there. Not because it's not Bitcoin, right? It's software, right? It's algos. Jesus, it's almost impossible to see it. There's so much complexity to it. And again, I say this is for people that love solving the puzzle, right? This has been a real challenge. And again, it's because we have outside influence, right? So it's, you know, love it or hate it, right? That's what's moving the market here is the latest press conference, tweet, truth, whatever the fuck they call them. A, B, C into a W. A, W, X, Y into, well, let me get the Y up here, into a B. So we've got proposed, right? A, B, looking for C up here. Right, which would be kind of in context with what we were suggesting. Right here, now we're putting more complexity to the correction, right? So this, you can see how this could be the 5 and then the going up for the 3. But we shall see. What do we get here, right? In this scenario here, we'd be looking for a 5, right, to give us the C of the X before we head down. Now, how that's going to relate to the simplicity of what we were looking at on the daily with just the major swings, well, we'll see how we can put that together. But right now, you've got the ingredients here for something to be getting started. Okay, so let me just zoom in there a little bit more. Okay, and this has just been, you know, again, it's just software, right? Look what we do here, right? Golden zone. This is all golden zone, right? It's Bitcoin just loves it, right? That's right, golden zone. Right in between, right? No, it's not the 618, right? It's right in the pocket, right in the golden zone. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we do it again. Golden zone, golden zone, golden zone, golden zone. There's the break. I mean, literally, there's nothing else like it in the markets. Period. Golden zone, golden zone, golden zone, golden zone. It's 5 of them right there. Right, just those are not in this general vicinity, not pretty close. Those are splitting the 618 and the 65. Right, that's how precise the algos are. Why do I do this week after week after week? So you don't forget. Right? It's very easy to think, oh shit, do you want to buy right into that? Oh, well, we've had a break, right? Well, what would that be? That's a break of structure. So what do we anticipate next? A retrace, right? So the fact that we're breaking here is good for the bull case. Good for the bull case. Is this 1, 2, 3? Is that a 4? God, looks like there's a 3 here. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, deep 4, and we're still going. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that could be, we're heading up here. It could be, right? That's unusually deep, but then again, we're in unusual times. 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like that could be what's going. It's a little irregular, but there's an impulse right here. Right? Oh shit! If I go to a 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So you got to account. You got to account for it. It was looking like we were going to go A, B, C, and this was starting down. But now with that break, looks like you can put them together because we are here. Well, that's deep for a 2. It's deep for a 2. What does it do? It's golden zone again, right? It's not why it moves, it's how it moves, right? Algo to algo to algo to algo. Okay, all right, so with that break there, once we get a pivot up here, then we do the same thing. We'll go from low up to whenever we get a pivot up here, and then look for the next retrace. Where would you think we'd look for the retrace, right? Reaction would be golden zone, right? Now, it's not always golden, right? Don't shy away from the 50. Right, but just Bitcoin absolutely loves the golden, right? Just very responsive there because the algos are written to be responsive there. Okay, right. So that said, okay, let's get this thing completed. Let's see if that's going to be a full impulse with a, I don't think you can go 1, 2. I don't think it plays as well. I think you got to use it as a deep 4 into the 5. I know. Well, there you go. Right. There's a perfect example where other Elliotticians would disagree with me. But I think you're forcing it because there's a completed impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got to use it. 1, 2, 3. It's not ABC anymore. Okay. With that said, let me get out of the puzzle because this is, again, you're gonna find different counts from different Elliotticians, right? The point is, are they valid? Well, now we're trying to forecast, right? What's come historically, right? Valid. But now the forecasting, right? If the context is good and then we have a good low here, are we going off to the moon? Well, that takes you back to, wait a second. I thought we were correcting. I thought we were looking for, again, in the broadest of strokes, oh shit, here, let's do it this way. Make it simpler. B, right? Keeping it simple without all the complexity and the double zigzags and all that. Looking for the next leg down to give you the Y. We shall see. Right? I don't think you need to be in a hurry to take any action right now. Again, that's my opinion. That's easy for me to say that. I'm very long, so this is all nice to see. But I would not be disappointed if we're heading lower, right into the 60s. It's just my view, my point, right? You don't have to agree, disagree. You can hate on me all you want, right? It's just trying to think what would be, the most useful to students. Don't freak if we break this golden. Okay, so let me move on now. Hang on a sec. Okay, moving on. Whenever I'm looking for ideas of things to present to you guys on Friday, this is a place I often come. So I'm an enthusiastic user of alt-fins. I recommend them highly. Right? If you want to support the channel, our link for them, we are affiliates, and we get like $5 or something. It would be a very small amount if you were to join them. But that's not the point, right? The point is that I think you'll find this very useful. So I like to go to their hot list and see what's on the move, and they doing a very classic TA. Right? It's MACDs and SOXX and RSI and geometry, all very valid, right? It's traditional technical analysis. And so these hot lists, right, I kind of pay attention to them. So I'm going to start here at the top, right? So what I like to see is when their traditional TA meshes with our methodology, then perhaps we have something we can look at. So let's start with, I think I went too far. Let's go to render. Let's start with render here. Now, what I would typically, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to look at crypto where I can get the aggregate here, where I can get the full history, because Blowfin, right? As much as I like to show you that on Blowfin, we don't have full history because they only got to trading view, I think, at the end of last year. So if I'm looking at render in crypto where I have full history as an aggregator, now the trade-off here is I don't get volume. But do we have a potential trade here? Well, okay, so again, it's a little sloppy, but I think we'd probably all agree this is a 5. Now you're going to have to do it like this as the 3, right? So which this looks like A, triangle B, C, right? Something like that. To get that out of there. Oh, get me out of here. Now, of course, we're in log scale here because we're going from 03 to 15, right? So you pretty much have no choice but to look at it in log scale. But okay, how technical are we? Do I need to say anything? Probably not, right? So it's just over and over and over and over and over again. It's not. It's the dominant algo. You need to learn only one algo. That's it. Couldn't be any simpler. You don't need anything else. Right? Just going to complicate things. Okay, so now we have a candidate here. Let's go from this low to this high, A, B, C. It looks like this is a kind of a wacky one, right? This gets very, right? It's tricky here, and I know some people might look at this and say, okay, well, this is just, come here, God damn it. This is just sideways here, and we launch. But I think because it's deep enough here, you've got to try to find a way to accommodate it here. I considered 1, A, B, C, but I think this plays better here into this 1, 2, 3. We don't overlap the 4, and again, it looks different out of log scale. But you got to be in log scale, right? You don't have a choice, right? So 1, A, B, C. Could we be done here? Well, yeah, we could. A, B, C. Well, that's a little skinny from where you would expect it. Now, let's see. Do I have it on there? Hang on. Let me get this off because that'll distort when I take it out of log. Now, if we take it out of log scale, okay, right, different looks a little different. Which is why I always encourage you. You got to take it. You got to look at it this way because the distortion to your eye is so severe. Okay, looks a little easier to comprehend the idea. Okay, well, looks like 3, 3, 5. Right? It looks more like a flat here at this with this range. Okay, we've got things we like to see. Oh God, is that a true double? It looks like it might be. Oh, looks like maybe they got it just a hair, just enough to get. No, maybe not. Looks like that could, yeah, they did, right? Just enough to get any liquidity down here. Right, and then pretty good rip coming off of that. Oh, if I go to a 4 hour, you probably see it a little bit better. 1, 2. Little wiki got through there, right? We stay with it unless we have a close below. Obviously it played. Okay, do we have a 1, 2? Could be, well, that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that looks like we've got a 1, 2, 3 going in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like that's the 3, 4, 5. So heads up here. Right, you've got good ingredients here. Swept the low. Oh, looks like that's going to have to finish as an A, B, C. 1 or A, B. Oof, that's a brutal finish. You're going to have to do that as A, B, C. Coming off the low here. Okay, well, let's get it channeled, right? That's critical first step. Okay, we start here. Okay, well, now we're beyond that. So if we think the 3 is in, we can pull it down like this, looking for guidance on the 4. Do we know the 3 is in? Well, no. There's some ideas. Okay, well, that was rejection wick. It looks like that was golden on the other side. Remember, it's always there on both sides. Oh, whoops. Let's get you over here. Get right on that. Right in the pocket. Looks like they swept the liquidity here, ran the stops. It's just what you want to see, right? Grab the liquidity, boom. Right? How do we know that that's what happened, right? Look what came off of it, right? And once they grab it, liquidity, and run the stops, oh shit, right to target. So you got a contender here, right? So from this, I would go 2 through 4, oops, through the proposed wave 3. Oh, and that's, you know, where do wave 4s usually go? Where are you? Somewhere in this range. You got a big order block sitting down here. Oh, we could use this. We come down into that 4, right? Now, where's the high probability location for the highest probability? 2338. We come right into that pocket. Boom. That's where we're sitting, right? Or pardon me, that's the prior resistance line. Let's put an alert right there. Well, that's shit. That's what I'm going to do. Ready to buy it. Where am I going to buy it? I'm going to buy it over here. See the same thing, right? Looks like we're heading for that, right? There's no way to call that. All I did was go over to Blowfin, which is where I would trade it. 3, 4, 5, sweep the low. 1, 2, 3, right? We've got the inducement. We've got a nice channel here now that we're into this. It's so critical to a good Elliott, right? Don't forget the channeling. Right? It's probably the most important thing. It's the thing most commonly forgotten. Don't forget the channel, right? It's so critical to a good impulse, right? It will guide you, right? Don't forget it. True double, right? I mean, that's ripe, right? I'd look for that retrace. Now, assuming we get the retrace, right? And I don't know when it comes, but if we get this, don't assume we're off to the moon. Take a partial here. Because what are you expecting? Where you want to have some dry powder to reload. Don't take that all the way down, right? That's what we're anticipating. Not what we know, but what we're anticipating. Don't take all that drawdown. Take my suggestion. Well, you're going to trade it how you're going to trade it. I would take at least 50% off here. At least bank it. You want to take the drawdown? Have at it. Where might you anticipate some support? Look at this big imbalance we have down here. And then again, right, you're just putting it together the same way every time, right? That's your edge. Yeah, I would buy that with both hands right now. But if we don't have it yet, but if that unfolds, right, maybe next week we'll be looking at this with ripe timing. Okay, so that's RENDR. DOGE was number 2 on the list. Let's look at DOGE. So same thing. I'm going to go over here to a 3-day on crypto.com, right? Because I can't trade it there. Okay, looks like now here I had to go out to a 3-day to try and connect this because this 5 here, yeah, it's possible. Right? We're going to truncate the 5 here. Here's the God MA, right, which is just a nice proxy for the Vegas wave. Oh, just as a reminder, right? It's the average of the 200 EMA and SMA. Okay, looks like maybe that's a kind of a funky diag into a 1-2. That's awfully sharp on the correction, but the candidate here. Of course, you hope you get something that you can sink your teeth into like that for the launch. On the assumption here that we're not going to truncate here, and we're going to go up and we're going to get a good 5 here to finish this impulse. So from there, where I've done the analysis, come over to where I could trade it. Now, of course, I get less history here, but I don't need it now because I can see where I am in that count. A, B, right, I'm on a daily, but let's go down to a 2-hour. Do I have the start? Now let's go back to a 4. 1, 2. You think that's technical? What would you guess? Oh, looks like we got some wicks we got through. Oops, I can get it right on there. Looks like it closed right on the 65, but you tell me, did they stay with it? That's to the tick. Yeah, they stayed with it. Okay, right. We want to see a close below, and we just get right on the edge of it. But we don't. Now, that said, right, so there's 1. Okay, what would we be thinking now? 1, 2? Well, you'd have to check the second one, right, because they just repeat. That's how the algo is written. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, I don't think you'd be thinking, well, could be, right? Could be a diag, although that's a straight shot. Let's go down to a 1. 1. Looks like a 5, really. I think even to a 15, which I don't like going to a 15 because they get so, oh, fuck me. They get so squirrely. Get out of here. 1. Ugh. Hard to pull that into a 3. You're going to have to do it like that. So you're going to have to do it this way because that's a 5 all day. You're going to have to do this to make that fly. So you're going to get a slight truncation here to go ABC, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little funky, right? So I like this one less than I did RENDR. So I first, now see again here we've got it like Bitcoin, right? You've got to deal with this, right? There's an impulse. How does that fit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like it, right? 1, 2. We're doing 3, 4. Does it overlap? It doesn't. Doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. ABC. Extension in the 5th. 1, 2. It's not very good looking, right? That's typically, I mean, but it is what it is, right? It's just, I'm down to a 15-minute. I can't say I love that as a trader, right? Would I put money at risk just off of that? It looks quite legit. Into the 4 and kick in the 5th. WX. Oh fuck. A. We could do AB. Oh, maybe not. WXY. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it's trying there, but I like it better down here. I'd wait. I'd be willing to wait for something lower. If it's going to push off here, we're going to have to change that. Here I'm done again. If we're going to push off to something higher, I'll wait. Where's the resistance, right? Let me get this off of here. That's struggling to get into a 1, 2, 1, 2. Now that's a 15-minute. I like to stay 60 or when I'm making a trading decision, 60 or above, particularly with Elliott Wave. 1, so 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a wait for me. It's not good enough, right? As I say often, almost every video I've ever done, we have so many things to trade. Why would you take a mediocre technical setup? There's only one reason you would do it, right? Well, maybe 2. FOMO, or you were just jonesing for some dopamine, right? Which is what happens when you get in the market, right? You get dopamine in your day, right? And we're a dopamine addicted nation. So as someone who used to sell it for a living, the action in your day, careful of that. You see it a lot. That's just not good enough, right? Why? Oh, I read something on Twitter or I saw something on YouTube that it was going to. Okay, well, so then that's FOMO, right? That you're taking a subpar setup because you don't want to miss it. You're not going to miss anything. If it starts to go, there will be a retrace. There always is, right? You may miss something like this. You may miss that. You may miss something like this. But what happened after it? Did you really miss anything? Right? Depending on your time frame, right? You might say, well, hey man, I trade off the 5-minute and that was a home run for me. Okay, good for you. I'm happy for you. If you're a long-term position trader, where was your stop? Here? Here? Right? Did you survive any of that? No. Right? Wait, choose wisely, right? There's no need to take a substandard or subpar setup. No need, ever. There's too many things to trade. Okay, let me keep going. What was next on my list after Doge was ton? I always want to say ton. Okay, I'm over here on crypto. Let me keep going. Oh shit, I'm at 28 minutes here. I got to keep going. I got a few other things underneath here. This is a little crowded. Let's get out of here. Hang with me a second, guys. Okay, this is a nice setup. What are we doing? Now, this is on crypto.com, right? So you can't trade here, but swing retrace, right? What are we sitting here? Well, this is an inversion gap. We had a fair value gap. Now we've inverted it. So, okay, so candidate, right? So 1, 2, right? On the premise that we went to A, B, C, and we finished here, right? We did a 50% retracement. Let's pull that back out. So this would be a diag, right? So you're going to have to do this as it ain't pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4, ABC into the 4 now in a diag, even though this is, God, this is gonna, yeah, that's a bit of a stretch because it looks like you've got a leading diag here. The ABC here is clean. The ABC here is clean. This is, oh, you know what? To tell you what, let me relabel that here. I'm going to do it on the fly. I think this solves that because that's a leading diag. We can probably get that. So I think you'd end up here, A, B, C. Okay, now this is crypto, right? So we're getting the whole history of it. It's tricky. I don't know that it matters terribly, right? So if we go for now, this is, I'm pulling from the 2, right? If I pull from the absolute low on the premise that we've gone, right? Remember with the diag, we're interested in reaching the 50 in this from the start of the 1. If I can get on there, from the start of the 1 to the pivot of the 3. Now, there's no requirement that it makes the 50, and I'm kind of adjusting this on the fly. What's the temptation? Well, look where we are, right? So let's come over. Let's come over to Blowfin. And here I'm, well, let's see. Oh, I've got some other shit on here. Hang on a second. Let's get this one off, and let's get that off just for a second. Okay, let's see. Right here we are, Toncoin on Blowfin. Right? Are we technical? Well, okay. Right. 1, 2. Here I'm using 2 pivots here. Why am I using this one here? Because you can see that's just wick, right? So we know the algo used it, right? Here's the target. No, remember, just wicks, right? It has to be a close above to kill the algo. So 1, 2. Or AB or whatever we end up, however we end up labeling that. So we can pull from this and we can pull from this, right? Because again, we know the algo used it. So when we hit here, do you think that's a coincidence? Do you? How many times have I shown that? 30, 40, 50,000 times? I don't know. 6 years, every chart, every time frame, 50,000 times probably. Do we have a nice 3 here? No. Sheesh. Actually, looks like you might have to work. No, it's like, well, you don't have much of a 2 there, do you? If you had to do A, B, C, you might be able to get this done here. Now, same thing over here. If I pull, well, let's pull from what the algo would do. Doesn't care about your LA count. It's just going to go dominant to dominant, right? So this the dominant high to dominant low, right? Okay, well, we're broken. Now that's out of log scale. In log scale, you got closes below. Closes below. So that algo is killed here. So potential for that to come deeper. This side, you're breaking from both sides, right? Now we could go back 1. Oh, let's get rid of that one. So we can go from here, we can go back 1. Right, that's what the algo is going to do. It's going to go to the next pivot, and then if that breaks, it'll go to this one, and then it'll go to this one. So if we go, might as well just save ourselves some time. So we're from the dominant high to dominant low, we're at the 50, where we have some imbalance. So you can see it right here. All right, candidate, and then pull it all the way over, and you can make sense of that. Oh, God damn it, get out of there. Jesus, that's annoying. Oh, well, you get the point here, right? We got a big low volume node. Here, I don't know why it won't let me pull that over. Okay, right, so big low volume node, no trading here. So we go from ledge to ledge, right? If we get through that, likely the next resistance will be up here, and then that would just be value area. So is this 1, 2? Okay, again, would you have a whole lot of conviction in that? Probably not. Let that shape a little bit, right? I not watch it, but okay, can I get something more like this, right? I'm already having to accommodate the fact that I've got a 5. Do I need to do something like this, right, and put this up here? this is a tough call because this is your 4, 1, 2. All right, it doesn't quite fit, right? So it does look like candidate for A, B, C, although the C relative to the A is just way out of balance. So it's a little bit of a, Elliott shuffle to get to what you want to see there. So I would be cautious of that. Again, I'm interested. I want it on my watch list, but I'm not quite ready to rip loose on that. As in jump in the market. I ought to be more specific. Interesting. Not ripe. Why rush it, right? Why put money at risk when it's not just exactly what you're looking for? And again, so many things to trade. If you take that, you're just giving into you're jonesing for dopamine. Okay. I had, what else was on the list here? XMR, which I looked at, which I think is, no, right? The only thing working for it here is swing high to swing low. Or swing low to swing high. I've got it right on that pivot. We just tagged the golden, right? Duh. Right. Who's shocked by that? No one, right? Value area. We're just from below to above, right? That's not. I wouldn't trade that. Why? Why would you trade that? You have no edge there. Just FOMO, hopium, dopamine. No technical reason to trade that. You're back in value. Where's the target? Likely POC. Again, you have no edge, right? So don't. Even though like look over here. Oh, it's in a bullish side. It's bullish because it's in a sideways channel. Really? I think not. Right? Again, be selective. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, we'll finish up with. We'll look at the S&P. I think NQ and maybe the bonds. It's 50,001. Is there something to say? You got a better algo? You got something you can showcase 50,000 times on every time frame in every asset class? No, you don't, because there's nothing else like it. Thank you, David Halsey, right? I remind you, not my discovery. All I did was put the 65 on it. There's nothing like that. There's nothing. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. There's nothing else like it. Okay, right? So don't ignore it, right? Which many people do. Okay, so where are we in that count? Well, that's the daily. Let's go, maybe to a 3, right? See if we can make sense of it. Looks like we topped here, W. This is quite tricky here, but this is the simplest solution, I think. WX, and we've gone ABC on the assumption we have a low here. Sorry. Just terrible allergies. It's just killing me today. 5, 3, 5. We're doing a 5 here. It's hard to tell, right? If we come out of here, if this turns in, it's tempting to think maybe we truncated here. It's such a cluster. Again, we have so much volatility, and again, it's one man causing all of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If we end up here with a leading diag, okay, maybe it's going to be very weird, because we're getting straight lines here, right? We're going to call this a 3. I think you'd have to do 1, 2. Oh, Jesus. Here, let's go to a 15. I don't think you can do it. I guess A, B, C. I guess you can. Often it's better to go to a line chart here. Even that still is just, this is tariff mania. Indecision. Okay, what can we glean from this, right? Is there anything technical here that we can work with? Now let's look both of them. Sure, I'm out of log scale. I don't need to be in log. Is this going to be 1, 2? Oh, Jesus. A, B, C. You barely get it in there. I don't think. How are you going to do that? That may define. You may have to just go with the broader structure here, if we get a new high, right? So what matters here? As I look at this, what matters to me is what happens up here. Do we sweep that, right? So we're going to try and turn this into some sort of god awful. Oh, jeez. I mean, it's almost so ugly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to turn this into some sort of a diag coming off that low. I remain skeptical of that, because that's you're forcing a count when there really isn't one. Right? Elliott's not always clear at all moments in time. Right, so and it's not perfect. Don't expect it to be perfect. You're not going to get every little 5 and 3. It's not going to subdivide perfectly when you're down to the the 4-second chart. There are going to be periods where it's inferred. Right? Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Well, that would look like A, and then we're doing a B here before we come down again. So I would not be overly aggressive here if you're trading the S&P. Right? You got to be kind of short term on this. Again, my suggestion is to do what you want, but my suggestion would be to keep it relatively short term here, because we're changing day to day, and now we're going into the weekend. Who knows what comes out over the weekend and what we see on Monday? So I wouldn't be overly aggressive on maybe selling some premium way out, because you can sell such wide. If you're an option trader, iron condors, things of that nature, or even iron butterflies, right? Although you're gonna have to pick the center range. The iron condors are pretty juicy because the volatility is so high, so you can sell way on both sides of the market, but don't sell 60 days. I would keep it in under 30 days so you can get some time decay. And hopefully the volatility starts to subside a bit. I mean, we were at 60 plus on the VIX. It's a bit on the crazy side, right? And we're one tweet, one truth, one press release from things going haywire again. So not a great time to have a lot of directional exposure, in my opinion, right? Just my opinion, for the S&P. Long-term traders, I wouldn't be completely without hedge. Okay, so that's the S&P. It's pretty much the same thing in the NQ. So I'm going to skip that because I'm going to finish here where I had a request from a member earlier in the week, wanted to look at the SOXX semiconductor exchange. Okay, right. So this is interesting. It's much like the same dilemma you have with Bitcoin, right? If I brought this up, wouldn't that be your? Let me pull that off of there. Wouldn't that be your first thought? Oh my God, well, it's just a completed impulse. And then so you pretty much have to be in log scale here. We're going from 7. Yeah, you've got to be in log scale, right? You have no choice with it. All right, so if we go from 50 to go here. Now, I will say you've got to look at it for the analysis, because you can't even read it out of log scale. If I take it out of log, right? Remember, 50 is 50. No, that fucks up a little bit. But 50 is 50, right? So if this is a completed 5, well, there's 50. We're not that far. So again, that's why I always say you got to be careful about log scale. Like, oh shit, we're not even close to the 50. Oh yes, we are. 50 is 50. Don't let that distortion, blow your perspective up. That's plenty far enough. And you're sitting here, you've got unmitigated order flow that's just waiting to be tapped. That's fully tapped now. Could this be ABC, right? And we're going to front run the 50 here and maybe not sweep that low? I wouldn't be surprised to see that come down one more time. But you can make a case, right? So my thought would be we're going to do this one more time, and then we're going to go again, right? This would be prime zone, right? This would be load them up, both barrels. My opinion, right? One to watch. But all that said, if I take it, let me get this out of here and put it back in log scale, just because this is how you're gonna look at it first. The other point to make here. Hang on. Sorry, the yard crew is right outside my house mowing. Right, so the allergies are killing me today. Well, so my point being here, wouldn't you think of that? Oh, well, but wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Couldn't that be 1, 2, and we're going to have a big extension in the 5th? Well, yeah, that's possible. That's definitely still possible. If we look at it here from here to here in log scale, you can say, oh, we've already broke the 50 here. We're down in the golden zone. Couldn't that be the C's in? And we're off for an extension in the 5th. Well, yes, that's possible. But again, with Elliott Wave, we have 100 years of precedent. I'm rounding. A precedent to evaluate. One of the things that we know, if we have a massive extension like we have here in the third of this leg, there's a tendency for the 1 and the 5 to have equality, because the extension was in the 5th, right? Or excuse me, was in the 3rd. So if I take, hang on. If I take the length of the 1 and project it from the proposed 4, now granted, I'm in log scale. You get, am I right? That low. Assuming I'm right on it. Now, that's log scale, but that's technical perfection. Length of the 1 in log scale is perfectly equal to the length of the 5th in log scale after the massive extension in the 3rd. So that, which brings you back to, oh, okay, if I take it out of log scale, right, of course, that's going to change pretty dramatically, as I just did. So that might take you back to thinking, oh, wait a second. Now you can obviously see here, right, that out of log scale, the length of the 1 from the proposed 4 would not even the same range. But that's the conundrum, right, that every trader deals with when you're dealing with log scale. So now we look here and oh, damn it. My machine's acting a little weird, wacky. We do it here. We're already through golden. Down to 707. Not that still couldn't be the 1-2, but again, that would be so abnormal, right? If we're going to come all the way down and we're going to do the full retrace here at the 50 of the golden zone, wouldn't you rather be a buyer here on the assumption that's 1 and that's 2 and we're going for 3? That's monster bullish, right? It's the same premise with Bitcoin, same idea. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it. Oh God, I went 46. Damn it! I keep trying to make these shorter, and I'm not having much luck at it. Well, I mean, I could do fewer assets, right? If you'd rather I made these shorter, feel free to. I should note here I'm on a weekly to post a comment. Dude, too much. They're too long, right? If that's what you prefer, I can keep it to 1 or I can just do Bitcoin, right? I can do 1 or 2 assets. But historically, members have asked for more, right? I do a lot on Wednesday in the live stream as well. So give me the comments, right? If it's too much, too long, God damn, man, I see your 46-minute video. I don't want to watch all of that, right? I get that totally, right? I might have the same idea, which is why we do the time code. So if there's something you're not interested in, you can skip, get right to the asset you're interested in. So, but I do these for your benefit, not mine. Okay, guys, with that, I'll wish you a good weekend, and hopefully we'll be back to Crazy Town on Monday. Okay, until then.